Insulating the truck took weeks, converting it into a home for the couple. With the vehicle separated into compartments, they began the tough task of turning it into a house. They didn't know what they were in. As they enter their 20s, most young individuals want to own property. Renting is as difficult as becoming an independent grown-up. Rent motivates some to work hard to buy a home. Rent haunts some people forever. After 5 years together, Brody Redfield and Annie married. Both starting careers after college, they expected life to be easy. Adulthood caught up with them. Rent and other bills arrived monthly. Breaking the circle was imperative. Brody, whose family delivered for decades, had an idea. Since his family had truck connections, he considered buying one and turning it into a mobile home. The idea was good after a long conversation with his fiancée. It seemed possible, but they had to solve several major issues first. If you've never slept outside a house, living in a mobile home can be scary. The first time Brody and Annie slept outside was in a vehicle. They also didn't know how a delivery truck became a home. Work ahead deterred them from their goal. Brody and Annie survived the pressure. They wanted out after 5 years of paying high rent. If you like my videos, don't forget to like or subscribe. Thanks in advance. Brody asked his delivery worker brother for help finding a truck. This began a long project to free them from rent. Eric, Brody's brother, contacted his trucking friends and found the perfect vehicle. A large white delivery truck could be converted into a home. Brody and Annie started immediately. They first found an affordable renovator. They consolidated their funds, planned their journey, and started. When Brody and Annie moved in, the truck needed enough insulation. If they didn't take precautions, heat exhaustion and hypothermia were among the risks. Their renovator suggested melamine foam for truck insulation. The couple chose the most affordable. Would it warm the truck enough? Brody and Annie lived in the truck after weeks of insulation. They divided the open space into a bathroom, kitchen, living room, and bedroom. The couple struggled to turn the delivery truck into a home after dividing it into spaces. They were clueless. Several laws govern mobile home dwellers. These include parking. Brody and Annie didn't consider all the aspects of mobile home ownership. They were blinded by rent arrears. They had no idea. Unless you own property, Maryland requires you to rent a space at a mobile home park or buy a mobile home already there. The premise requires Brody and Annie to pay a monthly fee, similar to rent. Was this time and money wasted? Brody and Annie had a big problem. But realizing their home was a truck they could park anywhere solved the problem. They installed Wi-Fi in the vehicle so they could travel across the country, see new sights, and work and pay their bills. This wouldn't work. Brody and Annie always wanted to tour America. They came from one of the world's most diverse and beautiful countries. Though possible on paper, such a journey was much harder in practice. The couple couldn't afford it. Since they'd paid for their last month in their apartment, they needed to figure out their situation quickly. Endgame. Annie suggested living in their apartment while renting their truck. With enough money, they could turn it into a business and buy their fleet of truck-turned homes while living in their own house. Brody approved. Annie and his brother helped. He planned Annie's proposal's business. But following Annie's vision would mean one thing. Renting their truck would force Brody and Annie to stay in their apartment for a few more months. By year's end, the business had enough money to buy and renovate another truck. Brody and Annie, now married, rent trucks turned into homes. They own a beautiful house but travel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.